Hello everyone, Cheek here with another Transformers review, and today I'll be reviewing the Naruto Shippuden Transformers crossover of Kurama and Gamakichi. This is a crossover that I was not particularly interested in myself, but I will admit the art style for the box and the other details I couldn't resist and decided to pick them up and take a good look at them. Okay, so Kurama and Gamakichi are interesting, although it is kind of cool that you can put the stuff on the fox demon feet, and it does say to do that in the instructions. I'm not a huge Naruto fan. I've only seen a part of the series. It looked kind of cool, so I was like, you know what, may as well at least take a look at it, because I'm a big fan of pretty much all the Transformers crossovers that they've done. It's supposed to be the Fox Demon / Naruto, and then this is supposed to be Gamakichi, which apparently was just a frog that Naruto would summon as like an ally. I think what's cool about this, if I remember right, if I know my Naruto lore right, which is very little, that Kurama, the fox demon, was like trapped, like the soul or spirit of whatever was trapped inside Naruto, which is the reason why he has the whiskers. So it seems kind of appropriate that he would turn into the fox demon. Now this guy is pretty much a heavy retooling of, well, not just necessarily retooling, but adding extra bits, but it is pretty much Cheetor redone. Which, I mean, it could have been done a little bit better. I don't think the feet sit quite right just because they are changed a little bit from the original Cheetor mold. And then, of course, there's the 9 tails, which don't really go anywhere. I mean, I guess if you want to, you could turn them up. Sort of like, I guess, closer to like, I don't know, Tails from Sonic. You could do that if you wanted to, if you don't want them hanging down. But it is a bit inconvenient, I guess, as far as like trying to pose and anything like that. The head is pretty well detailed. I don't know if it was messed up on my copy or not, but it does look a little bit like it bled through around the edges of the eyes for the dark gray. But it does look a little hazy. And if I remember right, on the box, it did look like that on theirs too, so maybe that is deliberate. And I do like the headband. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then there's also what looks like bandages or whatever wrapped around his legs. And then if you take off the effects, I guess it's supposed to be for stomping, jumping, I don't know, but there's some sort of effects. He does have toes and sandals, and then more straps. I think they're kind of supposed to be up here, but there's also the grooves for like the feet, so I guess however you want to have the hind fox legs, you put them like that or whatever. But there are more bands, I guess, signify his uniform or whatever. Obviously you can move these around as you want, or you can just try to hide them as much as you can on the back if you take off the accessories. Are, and then I think it looks a little bit better if you have them somewhat hidden. Now, unfortunately, you can't move these big fox ears, which definitely obscure a lot of the vision of this character or toy, so it is a little disappointing in that regard. He does come with 2 weapons. It looks like there's even a little hole. Oh, come on. A little hole that you could thread a string through, or a tiny little chain if you wanted to. And then this one as well, which also has their villages or clans emblem on it. The hands are interesting as well. This one has the 2 fingers, so I'm assuming that's for a jitsu or something. I guess maybe he'd hold his hand up like that. I'm not really sure. The palm opens up in order to put this on. There we are. Go on his palm like that. Yep, just slots in like that, and I am assuming that's an attack of some kind, and really don't know exactly what to do with that. Let's see, go ahead and close that up. And then his weapons can tab into his thighs as well. Or not hips really. You got to get those out of the way. There we are, like that. And then of course, same on the other side for the other weapon. Articulation, the head is on a ball joint. You can look up and down pretty far. Doesn't really have much wibbly wobbly. He can do a full 360, although it is a little tricky. Arms can go out that far, can go forward that far. Can't really go back because of this part. Bicep rotation. Arms can go about that far out. Over 90-degree bend at the elbow. Wrist rotation. Waist rotation. Legs can go forward about that far. You can do pretty much the full splits, but the tail is obviously going to get in the way. And then can only go about that far back. You do get a knee rotation and an ankle tilt. And that's pretty much it for Kurama. Gamakichi is a very interesting, I guess, scout class figure. Definitely not deluxe, but he comes with a little scroll. He can also hold in his froggy mouth. And then a little sword or blade. His head sculpt, if you ask me, is just kind of creepy. Has the same headband. It's just the yellow with black around the eyes, and that smile just seems really creepy to me. But that's just me, I guess. And he has similar feet with the toes visible in the sandals. And I guess articulation, the head is on a ball joint, but you can look up and down just a little bit. Not much head tilt. Can do a full 360. Arms can go out about that far. Can pretty much do a full 360. Get elbow rotation, about 90-degree bend at the elbow. You can't really do the full splits. Legs go forward that far. You can only go back about that far. You got knee rotation, about 90-degree bend at the knee. And a little bit of ankle tiltage on the ball joints. And there is nothing at the waist, just with the way this guy is designed. And here we have Gamakichi in his frog mode. And he, honestly, I think makes a better frog than he does robot. His mouth does open up. And I think that's the reason why they have him rotate his head. So it's not, visible face as soon as he opens up his mouth. You can peg that right into his mouth. And I don't know how often the frog holds the scroll in the show, or if that's a common thing that he does or not. And then you can peg the blade onto his back on either side. I think the frog is supposed to be wearing clothes, as it does look like he's wearing a shirt of some kind, a uniform of some kind, which I think is interesting. But it is something there. Like I said, I do think the frog mode is his best mode, and he looks, like a decent frog, I guess. And then let's go ahead and set him down. And time for Kurama. have Kurama in the Fox Demon mode, which I think is kind of interesting or cool. I do like the detail on the Fox Demon face and the mouth with the red tongue and the white teeth and the detail on the eyes. Absolutely amazing. Those look like they're printed on, but still looks really cool. Definitely, I would definitely say for these two, the beast modes are definitely their strongest modes. It seems like the robot modes are more of an afterthought. It would have been nice if they had put the ears on maybe ball joints or something so that they could tilt down at least a little bit or be moved out of the way of the robot mode's face. And then also it'd be nice if they had done a little bit more with the head so that you could rotate it up forward. I mean, I know that this Fox Demon is supposed to be ginormous, so of course it would tower over most of everything, so obviously, but it looks kind of silly unless, I don't know, having it yelling at a frog. I really don't know, but it does look kind of silly that the demon is looking right at the ground. I guess maybe you can move the legs back a little bit and just make it stand a little bit higher, like that, something like that, so it doesn't look so goofy. But either way, to me it does look okay. From there it actually looks kind of menacing, so it is kind of cool, but definitely not exactly my cup of tea, but I might hold on to him for a while. So that's about it for this review of this Transformers Naruto Shippuden crossover. They have a nice new home with my tattoo artist Frankie from Sugoi Tattoos in San Diego, California. He's a really great guy, and he's more of an anime fan than I am, at least for Naruto. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.